I've been to Europe and skied dozens of times now, but I'd never done one of the classic ski traverses where you start in one ski town and cross the Alps by foot and end up in another. And so this year we decided to do the Urner Traverse, which is known as the Skiers Traverse, and it goes between Andermatt, Switzerland and Engelberg. As soon as I heard the word the Skiers Traverse, I was like, oh, that sounds pretty good, because you know, when I think about ski touring, I often think that it's just a big, long uphill slog, but the cool thing about the Urner is it's got a bunch of really good ski terrain along the way, and you can actually ski some good lines. So I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. And you stay in these huts up on the top of the mountain along the way, and there's caretakers, you got a bed and food, and so it sounded like a perfect adventure to me. I wanted to go with Alexis because I've been watching sort of his evolution as a skier as he's sort of moved toward the backcountry more, and I thought this is kind of the perfect scenario. Let's take a young guy that has no real ski touring background, along with myself, who has very little ski touring background, and let's go do one of these trips. It just sounded super cool. The one thing that you need when you're going to do one of these ski traverses is good weather.
Unfortunately, Mother Nature isn't always kind to trips or ideas that we have.
Of course, the one trip that we do where I don't want powder, it's just dumping when we arrive in Engelberg. The place is caked in powder snow, and we're all bummed out. It was like the most screwed up thing ever. When we met with our guide Christian for the first time, he basically said, well, all the caretakers have come out of the huts because we're in such a big stretch of bad weather. All the huts are closed, avalanche danger is too high, we're not going anywhere. It's still snowing, so for us, we have to go powder skiing today. It's gonna be a tough time. Might get snow on our faces.
A hard life, eh?
First world problems.
Yeah.
The first time I met Alexis Godbout, he was 12 years old, and we were at Momentum Ski Camps, the summer camp in Whistler. And I just remember this cocky little French-Canadian kid that was just boosting off the jumps and the quarter pipe and going super big. He was good. I mean, there was no question that this kid had a bright future.
Mike started his career as a mogul skier and then moved on to being a coach. And from there, moved on to freestyle. I remember that cool guy doing like tree jibs and doing cork 7 landing and pow. And God, I thought that was so cool. As he was a bit older than everyone, he decided to look for softer snow and longer slopes, and people know him now as more of a big mountain skier.
I watched him grow and progress through his teenage years, and kind of before you knew it, he was one of the top guys in the world on the slopestyle scene, and he was, you know, winning big contests and had a hell of a career going, and then he blew his knee out. You know, a knee injury, you get surgery, you come back, and Alexis was back on the scene, and he got right back up into the top ranks again. But it wasn't very long after that he blew his knee out again, and then came back and did it again a year later. And the slopestyle progression curve is so steep that if you're out for 2 years, it's almost impossible to stay on top of the game, and let alone, you know, the impact and the beating that your body takes.
I think Mike did a lot of things right in his career. One of them was moving to softer snow in the backcountry. I mean, when you're doing stuff in the park, the landings are always hard and it's icy and a lot more factors to get hurt than out there in deep snow. And I think backcountry is really the key to keep your body up to date and make your career last longer, I'd say. So Mike did that well.
Eventually we got a small break in the weather. It was just a 3-day window, and we knew that there was no chance to complete the Urner Traverse, but we wanted to get out there and at least get a taste of it. A little windy up here today, but we made it. Up on the Urner Traverse, and ski looks good.
If I go back to where I was 12 and I first met Mike, I don't think I would imagine myself doing a ski touring trip with him in Switzerland at the age of 24. Picture myself still competing and doing stuff, but life evolves and plans change, and I'm happy to be where I am right now.
Cheers.
When you do these traverses, you're always moving, and you're trying to get like from one place to the other and trying to end up at the hut before it gets dark. It's definitely a different pace than we're used to, and yeah, I don't think you ski the same aggressive lines and the same style that you do when you're on your normal alpine gear, but you know, it's cool.
It's my first trip ski touring, so it's pretty cool. I'm stoked. Very peaceful out here. Great mountains. It's awesome.
I don't even think it was 12 hours, and I was already eating my words from the night before about what you could ski on ski touring gear. Alexis and I spotted a pretty aggressive zone, and at daybreak we headed straight there.
Where did you go? And who did you call? Had your beliefs, but you know that your heart is with me. There's no other waiting. Let me along with your stories, where you always do. Maybe I'm wrong to believe you when I always lose. Tried for so long to trust you, but I always lose. Tried for so long to believe you, but I always knew. Yeah, I always knew.
Yeah, that's definitely the first time I have to dig out a cabin out of work. Cool though. We'll get a fire going, get some food going, a little beer too. I'll feel good.
Pretty good view. We're at almost 2,800 meters, I think, and kind of top of the world, right on the edge of a glacier. Pretty beautiful. Pretty beautiful for sure. Making a little raclette here. Swiss mountain hut style. And you just peel it off with your teeth.
Oh, there you go. And then you actually get a real raclette.
Smells like burned.
It does, and it tastes just like it.
24-year-old kids.
A bit tired right now, but it was really worth it. We got some pretty sick stuff done today, and it's probably below zero outside this room, so I'm not that excited to go to bed right now. Getting a crew line done after your ski tour all the way up it, and then you go back up again and again, and get a good shot every time. I mean, that's super rewarding. It's awesome.
That's good. It's cool walking around through the mountains and skiing. Hello. Slow. You move slow, but that's probably a good thing. I think we move too fast, too much.
Tomorrow we're gonna go hike up a peak and be very out of breath when we get up there. It's gonna be awesome. Stoked. New challenge. It's cool.
Getting to ski touring, I would say, more than anything came from the evolution in gear. It's no longer these like little flimsy skis and lightweight sketchy bindings and floppy boots. You've kind of got good low-tech ski touring gear that you can actually ski well on the way down and is light to get up. We're up at about 3,300 meters right now on our way up the Stuschenhorn, and touring along through some crazy strategy that you can see behind me there. And look what I found. A butterfly at 3,300 meters. It's kind of weird, kind of cool. Who knows, maybe it's one of our fallen friends. He looks pretty tough. I think I'll call him Andres. Well done, guys. I'm pretty sure Alexis is going to be the first one to ever do the standing backflip on the top of the Stuschenhorn.
That was my first ski touring trip ever. I've ski toured till my legs didn't want to work anymore and I was exhausted, but I liked it a lot actually. I wouldn't say ski touring would be my destiny,
but it's part of that huge mosaic that is skiing. You know, I want to experience skiing in every kind, and this is a unique, fun way to get out and see the mountains and chase some powder ultimately and just have some fun.